Welcome to the Hillbilly RV channel. You may notice what's wrote on the board here. This was a video that I shot a couple weeks ago, and man, a lot of good responses to this video. I mean, that's what I like to see when I put out a video, is response from you guys and gals. Letting me know what you would do. Let me know what would probably happen in your part of the country. And then I can let you know what will probably happen in my part of the country. And it may be completely different. Yeah, if you will remember, this transfer switch would not transfer to the shore power. Now, if you missed that video, I'll put a link right up here, and you can go watch that video first, and then you can come and watch this one. All right. What was going on? That south wire transfer switch at 41301, and I don't know, some other south wire transfer switches may be the exact same. It actually had a red light on the transfer switch that told us we had an open ground. We had an open ground because there was no ground at this guy's house where he had the motorhome plugged in. If we run the onboard generator, everything, it would transfer the generator and everything was cool. Everything worked. All right. And we even hooked it up to a portable generator. The guy had a portable generator there, and everything was a-okay. Again, now, don't ask me how a generator, which is not truly grounded, has a ground, but it does. The transfer switch was happy. Now, a lot of people commented that yes, the south wire transfer switch will not work with an open ground or an open neutral, which is really good. But we're just talking about the ground right now. Yeah, it will not work with an open ground. Now, some people said, well, you know, they had a south wire transfer switch that wasn't reading the ground, and they changed it to Progressive or one of the other companies that makes a transfer switch. Well, that seems a bit overboard, but because we knew there wasn't anything wrong with the transfer switch, because it would work with both generators. It just would not work plugged into the guy's house because he has an older house, nice house, brick home, but probably built back in the 70s, maybe a little bit newer, who knows, but at that time, it was not all that uncommon to build a house without a ground system. Nothing in the house would be grounded. Now, that's not code today, but when they make new codes like that in West Virginia anyway, it's not retroactive. You don't have to go back and change stuff. Now, if they ever do any upgrades, you know, yes, they will have to upgrade the whole house and run grounds for everything in the house. Now, some people commented that, oh, no ground in the house, big problems, nothing's going to work right in his house. Totally not true. He has a modern home with modern appliances and flat screen TVs, the whole 9 yards, just like we all do. No issues. Those things don't mind not having a ground. Now, like I said a while ago, neutral's completely different. Completely different. But yeah, those things don't mind not having a ground. They, you know, unless you have like a lightning strike, and even then, I mean, our house is grounded. And we had a lightning strike a few years ago somewhere near us, not right on the house. It still got some of our electronics. So it's not, you know, having a good ground system in your home is not going to keep you from ever having electrical issues. It just helps. And it is probably much safer for the human occupants. But there again, it works just fine without a ground. Okay? So some people said that, well, let me draw you a picture of the panel box real quick. While I'm drawing the picture of the panel box, Go check out this new service that I am offering and see what you think. We'll be right back.
Does your RV have you stumped? Need a little help from an RV pro? Got a problem that's just a little too tough for you to handle on your own? Introducing HelpMeHillbilly.com. The Hillbilly Helpline is here when you need it most. All you need is a basic knowledge of electricity, a test meter, some mechanical ability, and basic tools. We'll walk you through it via Zoom or FaceTime. Just $89.95 a call up to 1 hour. Pay easily through Venmo or PayPal. Get help the Hillbilly way.
So go to that website and check that out if you think that's something that might interest you. All right, so just a really simple drawing of this guy's panel box. Okay, from the utility, we had line 1, line 2, and a neutral. I can't spell N. A neutral. Okay, no ground. No ground. Of course, you don't get a ground typically from the utility. You get your 2 lines and your neutral. The ground is provided by earth ground at your service. Now the way they do that is they'll go out here outside and they will drive, nowadays it's 2 8-foot ground rods. Oh, I believe that marker is dead. No blue marker for you. So they'll just go out there and drive 2 8-foot ground rods in the ground, I think 8 feet apart or something, 12 feet apart, I don't know, something. And then they will bond those together and run them in here to your box, to your ground lug. And all of your grounds in your house will hook to that ground lug. All right, so what this guy's house did not have was any of this. No grounds, no ground rod, no ground bar in the box, no grounds at all. Not a ground wire in this panel box anywhere. Now what the guy did is he wired a 30 amp receptacle just for his camper. Okay, he wired it correctly. The wire was already there. It was a different receptacle, and he wired it. You need 3 wires for a 110 volt 30 amp RV plug. All right, he had a load, he had a neutral, and he had a ground that was in that cable. It was actually a 4-conductor cable. I mean, he hooked up the ground wire in his receptacle, but it didn't go anywhere. It came here to the panel box and just dead ended. Okay, so a lot of people said that to make the transfer switch work, all you had to do was bond the ground for the RV to the neutral bar. Not true. I tried that. I wanted to see if we could trick the transfer switch into thinking I had a ground. Like I say, this cable, the ground wire just stopped right here. So I peeled it back just enough to get a jumper wire on it. I jumpered from the ground wire in the receptacle to the neutral bus bar in the panel box. Nope, no bueno. The transfer switch, we couldn't trick it. It still said open ground and it wouldn't transfer. So all of you all that said that was a thing, that wouldn't work. Now, a lot of you said I should have done it in the motorhome. Well, the motorhome was already, it's basically a 4-conductor system. You got your hot, your neutral, and a ground. So it's 3. I can't count, but yeah, that's already, the motorhome was fine. It's just the fact that the transfer switch wasn't seeing a ground, and it didn't like that, and it would not transfer power to the short cord. Now let me look at my notes real quick. I took quite a few notes to make sure I covered a lot of the more reoccurring questions and comments that came up. Oh, Southwire's tech support. Here I am, I don't know, 2-3 weeks after probably close to 3 weeks. Still haven't heard from Southwire. So yeah, if you call Southwire and get a hold of their tech support and leave a message, don't expect a call back, because I'm still waiting. So that always makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside when tech support does you like that. So the ground fault that I mentioned that wasn't working in the motorhome, a lot of you said, well, that's the problem with the ground fault. There's no ground. No, it worked just fine after I got it wired correctly. The gentleman, you know, I don't know if the ground fault receptacle that he had in there went bad or whatever, but he replaced it and he got the wires mixed up from load to line. Okay, and you have to make sure that you keep that stuff straight if you're working with a GFCI outlet. It has to be wired correctly, and the line, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, the instructions will be in your GFCI. The line is the power coming in and the load is the power going out, or it's the opposite. I don't really remember. I don't have any of that paperwork right here in front of me. All right, so now let's get to all the people that said putting in a ground rod wouldn't work. Okay, the customer did text me a couple weeks after that video came out, and he said, hey, he said, I drove an 8-foot ground rod in the ground, one out there just outside of his house, right there at the panel box. He hooked the ground wire from the ground rod to the ground in his receptacle. He said the south wire transfer switch is happy as it can be right now. It transfers back and forth. No more red lights as open ground. So that did work. I thought it probably would, because all it needed was an earth ground. It needed to see an earth ground, and he provided one. So did he update his whole panel box? No. It cost thousands of dollars to upgrade that whole panel box. You might have to run new wire. A lot of the wire in the house might only be 2 conductor wire, a load and a neutral. So it may cost tens of thousands of dollars to upgrade his whole house. He doesn't need to do that. He just needed to provide a ground for that transfer switch so his transfer switch in his motorhome would work. He did that. Everybody's happy. But you know, don't feel like I'm picking on anybody. I'm just telling you what really happened. And that's what it took to fix it. It did fix it. And like I said, everybody's happy. I hope y'all are happy. You know, I wanted to provide you with an update because this video did get such good response. So just keep that going, and get down in that comments section. Leave me a comment, a criticism, a concern. Let me know how this won't work either, or let me know if you think it will work. Whatever you think, let me know. We'll discuss it in the comments below. Y'all have a fantastic day.